Hello, Insteaders. Here to have a little chicken chat with you. Chicken chat. Talking turkey sounds better, but we don't have turkeys. We have chickens. So we'll have a chicken chat. Anyway, chickens were definitely not my idea. I have never really liked birds. I got stuck as a CIT in Boy Scouts having to work the nature center and had to deal with birds and snakes and all sorts of critters, and I just really don't like anything that's not a domesticated animal anymore. So don't really like birds at all, but the kids wanted a pet, and what better pet than a pet that produces for you? So when asked to get chickens, the initial question is, well, why chickens? There's a bunch of different birds out there that could also produce. Ducks, for example, or ostriches, they give you eggs as well. They're just a lot more bother, and ducks, my understanding is ducks can be pretty mean. I have no first-hand experience with ducks, but that's my understanding. So the eggs that we get from the chickens are a great reciprocal of the chickens. We give them housing, they give us eggs. We brought them home and set them up in a small box with a heat lamp. The heat lamp requires for about the first 2 weeks that they need to be at 85 degrees. So after about 2 weeks, you can drop that about 5 degrees per week to get them more acclimated to live life outside. We slowly acclimate them into what we call Cluckingham Palace, which is our coop and run for the chickens. To protect the chickens, it's important that nothing can get in that will be a detriment to the chickens. Depending upon your area, you may have aerial predators. You may have hawks, which we have periodically here. We have turkey vultures that tend to try to swoop down and get they like to get dead and decayed animals. But anyway, we do have hawks occasionally. But most importantly, what we have is raccoons that try to get into the coop, and so we have a kind of an armored setup for for them. We have metal wire mesh that keeps the chickens out, or keeps the chickens safe and keeps the raccoons out. But they're pretty crafty. They have a tendency to try to get in and around, and we've had one that actually pulled some of our door material away and tried to get in, but fortunately we caught them on camera. So anyway, we try to protect the chickens by there again having a sturdy coop and run that obviously the tighter mesh that you have, the less things can get in. But what we've found is the about 2-inch by 2-inch metal mesh, or 2-inch by 4-inch metal mesh is suitable for the size of the chickens that we have. Yeah, again, we do also have a raccoon trap that we try to live trap raccoons so that way we can move them away very kindly. My brother-in-law, he has hunting dogs that he trains to track raccoons, so they are given a second chance at freedom, and what they do with it is on them. We trap them here, and he picks them up and brings them out and trains the dogs with them. So bringing them home, we got them from Tractor Supply. And it was a big responsibility. So up front, the little chicks take a lot of care up front. Unlike a dog where you have to pretty much take care of a dog all the time, chickens up front for the first about 6 weeks or so, you're pretty much their primary caretaker. After about 6 weeks, they start to kind of take care of themselves, but they figure out where the food's coming from.
A really cool feature about chickens is that they eat just about anything. They will eat weeds, which is very good. If you're weeding your garden, you can put the weeds in a bucket, haul them down to the chickens. The chickens love them. They eat them like they're candy. So that gets rid of your weeds. So you're not blending them into your grass or anything like that. It's further spreading them. Gets rid of your weeds, on a regular basis. So that's a very beneficial aspect of having chickens, because it's you're not only taking that weed, getting rid of it, but it also is turning into compost, because that chicken poop, the chicken manure, is very nutrient rich. You can then take that and put it back into your garden. So you're taking weeds out, you're putting nutrients back into your garden. So we will be doing that at the end of this season, when we put our chicken manure back into the gardens. You will see a huge increase later, hopefully next year, with our crops, because of the nutrients getting back into the soil. I'm afraid that the soil that we purchased had very little nutrients in it, and so we're kind of having to backfill that. Anyway, the chickens, when we first got them, the chickens, we bought a chicken coop for it. Really nice guy that came out, delivered the chicken coop for us, and I realized it just looked a little small. So I added onto the front the larger chicken run, which is about 12 foot long. And when I added that on there, also realized that, while we have it completely protected from predators, what they're not protected from was rain and also excessive sun. So we took and put some surplus roofing material that I had on hand from a different project, and built a frame that holds that up and sheds the water off, into the further backyard. The nice thing about that is they're completely protected. It gives them shade, and it gives them a water runoff that pushes water away from them, so that they're not sitting in a muddy mess all day. It still does get pretty muddy back there, and what we do to try to knock down some of that mud is by reusing something else that we have on hand a lot of: shredded paper. So shredded paper absorbs some of that water. It's cooler than having them sit on straight dirt, but also it's something that's free. It's something that we have a lot of from various paper that we have at the house, and junk mail.
Bird strike! Bird strike! Bird strike!
Chicken attack.
Birds.
Whoa. Wow, that was aggressive.
Not. That's my last straw.
All right, it looks like they need some more food though. Hey, there we go. How about some food, guys? Keep you from fighting. So when it comes to chicken eggs, there again, I'm a city boy. I grew up in the suburbs. Never knew anything about chickens. Never knew anything about eggs other than they come in a carton. You get them from the grocery store. That was a huge culture shock to me when we started with chickens. So, of course, we have now 5 laying hens that are producing about an egg a day. Kids go down, pick up the eggs, and they're a mess. They're nasty. That's something that is very important. You don't have to refrigerate eggs immediately unless you wash them. So now I'm very particular about my eggs. When I cook eggs, I love it. I love to cook eggs. I love to make scrambled eggs. But I absolutely insist I have to wash those eggs before I'm going to even crack them open, because I just don't. That's just a thing about me. I'm just very particular. I'm not very good at cracking eggs without getting a shell in my eggs, so I want to make sure that that's completely clean. So anyway, that's my little my little pet peeve with chickens. But again, I enjoy having farm fresh eggs. There's just something about them that they just taste better. I don't understand it. I don't really care to find out why, but it's been nice having chicken eggs, and we do have 3 more chickens that Lily insisted on getting 3 more littles that are growing up right now, that we've introduced them to the bigger chickens, and come to find out one of them is a rooster. So we now have 7 hens, 1 rooster. We're going to have to keep an eye on that rooster, but he does a pretty good job of corralling the hens, and I think kind of protecting them a little bit. So that'll be interesting to see. It's an update for later, but we will
introduce them, because we didn't want to just kind of throw them in there, but every day we would put a small dog kennel inside the coop. Inside the dog kennel is where the smaller chicks were, to get them kind of acclimated to the larger chicks or chickens, to make sure that they didn't attack them, and that they knew that they were friendly, that they knew they're all on the same team.
We'll also, as a result of having hens and a rooster, we may eventually have more chickens. Thank you for joining us for this chicken chat on Instead Homestead. We'll see you next time.